around 5:30 today, Alice Aoki hit me up. She's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing me. What's up? How are you?" It's like, "I'm good. I have a favor to ask. I want you to interview someone on your show." She sent me a link. I'm like, "Wow, this guy's dope. And he's someone. Let's do it." So I did some rearranging and everything, and these guys are here today. This guy is here today. So I just want to introduce him.
Nice.
Luis Aguilera.
I can be the lean, you can be the Sprite. I can be the loud, you can be the fire. I can be that. I can be your everything.
Luis Alberto
Aguilera. Yes.
Indeed.
Do you use the
use that?
middle?
I kind of use just more like the first and last. But
Okay.
I mean, but it's like people know like the full name and stuff.
Oh
But
man, you messed up my whole. I was put you on the map.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, I don't use that. That's all right though.
no, it's
Good stuff,
cool. It's
good
like
stuff.
either or. Like it's. I mean,
It sounds cooler
No,
to use all three.
it's the three names. You know, it's proven through history.
yeah.
Yeah, so
I love it.
producer, songwriter,
Yes, and singer.
and singer as well. Yes. So I want to jump right into it. I know Tiz got some questions because we talked about this before.
Oh yes,
so
I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I'm going to get right into this. So we was emailed earlier a song. It's called Sprite.
Mhm.
When did that song come out?
Song came out I think in 2012, 13 or 14. Right. It's. I did this song like a while back.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I saw the Sprite in the in the video. So was it something that was by Sprite, or were you guys?
No, it was just it was like with the visuals and stuff. It was just just playing with the visuals and concepts and stuff. Like
Yeah.
that. And I mean like that was the name of the song, so it would have been like kind of like why is this called Sprite? But there's like no
Yeah.
Sprite.
But that's my question. It's like, where was the influence for that track? You know, for the concept of Sprite itself, and then I'll go into the hook and the lyrics. But I just
Yeah.
wanted to ask about that.
Well, I think that, the concept of the song is pretty like self-explanatory if you listen to the song. It's a comparison and just a comparison how love can be like a drug sometimes. It can be addictive. It can be it just can be like a drug. So it's like using like drug references. It was a creative way to approach like a love song.
Yeah.
But so it was just a creative little like thing that I wanted to do, and that song came out.
Yeah.
I started off. I just started making the beat, like the melody for it, and then just started adding like the drums. And next thing you know, I was like kind of just had a melody to go on top of that, and then just kind of started playing with lyrics, and the song just kind of developed. It took me like I think like 3 days to like finish it. Like 1 day for the beat,
Yeah.
1 day for the melodies and the lyrics, and the last day to like mix it. And like that was it. I actually left it kind of a little bit more rough
Yeah.
on the mix side, and I thought that actually added like value to the song, having it not be perfectly like mixed, but just have everything like all the levels like sitting right and stuff. Like that added to the concept of the song.
I'm so intrigued now. Gotta hear Sprite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
tough
We gotta
track.
send that link to you. But you're from a musical background, right? And we're gonna get right into that side of things. Where you're from, who your dad is, and how this music thing even came about. So let's briefly talk about your dad for a little bit. He was a songwriter, producer, singer, and he was kind of huge, right?
Yeah, it's
Kind of.
So I'll let you I'll
he
let
was.
you say a few things about him and how you got to this point of being inspired. So who's your dad?
My dad is Juan Gabriel, and he's
Okay.
he's a very well known Mexican singer, songwriting icon, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Definitely.
like that's my dad. So it's
Yeah. Yeah.
Shoes.
Yes.
How's it? What is it about in filling those shoes? Do you feel obligated or?
No, I don't think I'm trying to fill his shoes or anything. If anything, maybe follow in his footsteps or use him as inspiration, motivation, and stuff like that. But as far as filling his shoes, I think that's never even crossed my mind because it's impossible. I think people are unique, like just like our fingerprints are unique. Like that's why our fingerprints are unique because it's a reflection of us. Like sometimes we're similar in the way of thinking, in the way physically, in the way of expressing ourselves, etc. There's similarities throughout people, even if they're not related.
Yeah.
Now, if they're related, it's like those similarities increase. So I think with my dad, the thing is like there's a lot of similarities between us. So I think that maybe and that's a fair question, like how I would plan to fill his shoes and stuff like that. But the answer to that, it's like I wouldn't try to fill his shoes. I wouldn't. I more see it the way, like I said, using him as inspiration and trying to achieve my own greatness and as a human being and as an artist and that, and always using him as a point of reference whenever I need some sort of motivation and that, like looking at him that way, but never, because it would be impossible to try. Any like artists, people are impossible to replace. Like even if you had a twin, that's like exactly born the same year, same hour, same minute, even then there's like always gonna be differences.
Yeah. I felt that was a trick question, though.
It was definitely.
That was the first thing that came to my mind was like, those are some shoes. And then he just said it as I was thinking it.
Yeah. It's just like any great dad that has a child. It's it's always this comparison. But I think there is no comparison. You can always be who you are and have your own take on life because it's different times and times are changing anyway. But were you from the gate of being born into this very musical family? Were you like inspired by music, or did you have other things that you were into, like sports or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to be a soccer player when I first like that was like my first passion. Like I always liked art and things like that. And, but soccer was like something that really like drew me, and that's something that I was always out in the field like practicing, and whether it was raining or it was cold or hot or I was even a little sick, whatever, I was always like out in the field practicing. That was like my passion. I would think about it and like think of like moves and think of ways I could like play better, and always playing and training. And I was so committed to that mentally and emotionally that when I started doing music, or even considering doing music, and the fact that I felt not like advanced, because there's always so much more you can do, but in soccer I was so committed, and visually I was committed and advanced in the sense that that's what I wanted to do. But even then I was willing to let go of that for music, which was still a mystery, because I didn't really have a skill. I didn't have any like defined, like the skills were internal and stuff, but they weren't like developed or anything. Right. But I was willing to take the risk of leaving that dream of playing soccer for a new dream of music. I knew there was something there, and I had to pursue it, because it made me feel complete. It made me feel just creating it connected within me at a different level.
Did you spend a lot of time in the studio with your dad to see the recording processes or anything like that?
I mean, like our situation was like we grew up like separate and stuff. I couldn't see him that much because of his line of work, which is ironic that I ended up doing like the same. But
it's in the blood.
Yeah. This and
So literally no kind of influence from him, but outside of the musical background. But I mean, is there any influence?
Oh, I think definitely, as far as like the quality and how his influence comes more in the structure rather than the style. Because his style of music is very, very unique and it's defined, but it's creative. It's him. It's him. So his influence, I love his songs. Yeah. I love to listen to him. I love to sing along to him and stuff. But mainly his main influence that he had on me, and of course he influenced me even with his music. Like in what I'm making,
Yeah.
there's an influence, but mainly his influence comes from like the structure and how passionate and how dedicated and how committed he was,
Yeah.
and his songwriting capability. Like he just wrote and wrote and wrote songs and he just kept them going, and like that
That's awesome.
constantly. Like it was just he was just a creative person, always making songs. So that's one of the biggest inspirations that I get from him is that I think that
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome because a lot of people don't talk about the structural and
Exactly.
the ethics behind
Mhm.
a person to make them great. They're just kind of worshiping, the song and stuff like that. But that's a great thing that you got a chance to see that and adopt that. And are you taking some of those structures and patterns and everything that he's done to apply to your work?
Yeah, I think that I can say that there is like structure wise, even if I'm doing a different type of music or stuff. I think that structure is there is where I draw the most inspiration from. Like, and more than anything, like I said, the commitment and the volume of like the songs that the amount of songs that he made and so many like hits and so many like things and so much creativity and development and all that. That's where I like look over and where I feel like I need to challenge myself to even if it's in my own lane, be great in that sense.
Yeah, I got a question about that because, while you were speaking about that, I was looking at it and I was saying, okay, your dad had this lane
Mm-hmm.
and he was awesome
Yeah.
in this lane.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going out and you're doing your own thing,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Do you ever get criticism for stepping out and not taking or following in that lane, but having your own lane? Because those people are coming back looking at you and like, hey, yo, you Juan Gabriel's son, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be giving me the next generation of him.
Yeah.
But you're doing your thing. So my question is, do you get a little criticism for that as well?
I think no, I don't. At least I don't feel it. So the fans, I think right now they're very accepting and supportive and understanding of what I'm doing. They're patient, and that's what like gives me the most strength and confidence in doing what I'm doing. But as far as that, I'm aware that they're gonna want something like that. So while I'm not gonna just straight up try to imitate what my dad was doing, because that would be like I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. But for them, I do have some things like special music that I'm working on right now in Spanish that I think it's gonna be of their taste for the people that were expecting. Even though I feel like regardless of what I do, they're gonna understand me and accept it. I don't want to, like take advantage of that and be like, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and just fully disregard what they might want. No, even I'm going to do what I feel and what I like. And I think that I feel their supportiveness, and that, like I said, that helps a lot. But even then, just as a thank you and a way for me to show appreciation back, I'm going to have a couple songs ready that I think they're going to connect more with.
Yeah.
Gonna kind of go a little bit out of my lane a little bit
Yeah.
to create something that I think they might connect with a little better.
Yeah, it's gonna be a nice bridge. It's gonna be a
Mhm.
nice bridge
Yeah,
between
yeah,
the two of you.
And you
but
mean
it still feels natural with what I'm doing. It's still me, but it's just my delivery on a ballad
yeah.
and a more classical like ballad type of feel.
Okay.
Did you have to study to do that? Like, since it's out of your lane, like.
No, thankfully, I'm working with the right people.
Nice, yeah.
I'm working with the right people, and they're helping me with the stuff that I don't know necessarily, and that I would have took me years and years of doing all this stuff to do. I'm working with people that have that input and have that experience, and they can help me with that.
Yeah.
So it's still my creativity, but it's a little more guided, a different route.
Yeah.
So it's still coming out my essence, but delivered differently.
Okay. So what if you would name your style of music, what would you say? I know it's Latin, but like what style is it? Latin electronic,
Well,
Latin
yeah.
hip hop oriented? Because the song that we heard, it was in English,
Mhm.
the Sprite song, and it was a backbeat kind of hip hop stuff.
Yeah, it's very R&B,
Yeah.
hip hop, and alternative. Yeah.
Is that your style, or is that what you're going for?
Well, I love that style of music. So, but I wouldn't name it my style. I think my style of music is just music. I think most musicians feel that way, and especially right now in 2017, like we feel that way that we just want to try music, because music that's what it is. It's free. It's sounds. It's noises, it's concepts, it's tempos, it's rhythms, it's all these different things. And I think genres are cool because while they do give music a structure, they bring order to it. Genres are also a little bit dangerous because they kind of put a limit to music. So it's like...
Hold on. Could you say that again?
Okay.
I'm going to turn up your mic.
Exactly.
Because we have a lot of creative people that listen to this show. And we were arguing last week about the same thing. So can you repeat that?
That's very true, man.
Genres are what?
Okay, so genres are like a double-edged sword. They're on one half, they're good because they give music, which is this free essence. It's air.
Right.
Music is I'll get into a different thing right now. But it's just freedom. It's just no limit. It's sounds. It travels. It's just everything.
Yeah.
So genres give it a structure, and it's cool because they give it some sort of order.
Market.
But they're dangerous because they limit the creativity. You could, if you're making country music and you try to add a synthesizer, there's right away someone's gonna be like, hold on,
Right.
because that's not country music. Well, let's go back. Or if you're making hip hop music. But see, the thing, hip hop music is cool because there's already a lot of freedom in it.
Yeah.
But even then, like, it's like for example, like it took a minute for like singing to be accepted in hip hop, because hey, wait, hold on, what do you mean you're singing? This is hip hop, rap. And then so genres are cool because they give it a structure, but they also they're dangerous because they limit it. That's
Yeah. You say that again. I'm a music producer, and you know, some of the stuff that I do is not considered hip hop. Mm-hmm. And my hip hop guys are like, yo, what is this? My electronic people are like, what is this? And I try to explain to them that it's music, and they're so tied in. And I think that, you know, our music ecosystem kind of like bridges gaps, but they also keep you in zones of like, okay, this is country, this is hip hop, this is EDM, this is that and the other, until we as artists take our claim and say, hey, I'm going to do what Nelly did. I'm going to put a country single on my hip hop or something like that. But I mean, I had to hear that again because
So,
dude.
So with that being said, then since there's so many different genres and so many things going out there, who are your influence? Who influences your music and your style?
I mean, I definitely
outside
have
of your father.
I definitely have like artists that I like and I prefer stuff. But what actually influences my music that actually like adds a structure to it is just music. It's everything. It's like the way I started making music was I started listening to Tupac.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this is kind of cool. Then I started listening to like 50 Cent, Eminem, The Game. So it was just rap, and I liked the freedom in it.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends, one time I was in school, and it was lunch, and he had this CD with him, and he showed it to me. He started playing for me, and it was Kanye. Yeah. So that was a whole new introduction for me, because Kanye is it's a hybrid. He's a creative guy. So it added something to it. It caught my attention even more. Then I started listening to Chicago rappers. I started listening to Common, and I started to listening to like more like East Coast rap. I started listening to Talib Kweli.
Give me goosebumps.
Talib Kweli.
Give me goosebumps.
You know that's a Chicago native right there.
Yeah.
So he like that.
Started listening to Mos Def. Mos Def is like I think Mos Def is super cool because it's like he raps and he's a super good rapper. But one of my favorite things about Mos Def is when he sings. Like he has the song on the New Danger. It's called The Panties. The song is funny. It has a funny name, but it's a super cool song because he's singing the whole song through, and it starts off one way, and then it just builds a little. And it's simple, but it's just him singing the whole way, and it's like it's cool.
I love Mos Def. He had this song called Uma. He was talking about his grandmother. Mommy says, "Shine a light on the world." Shine a light for the world
World
to
to see.
I want my people to be free.
So
He's
it goes.
always
So
good
I'm,
stuff, man.
I go from
Yes.
listening to that music, and then I'm listening that the songs have samples in the background.
Yeah,
So I started getting curious to where these samples come from.
right.
So I started listening to like 60s music and like 70s music and 40s music, and I started listening to Ray Charles, and I started listening to the Drifters, and I realized that these people didn't have auto-tune back then. They didn't have a lot of the like mixing and mastering things. This,
Yeah.
the thing that gave these songs their beauty was how raw they were and how like you had to really nail it. And
Yeah.
how challenging they were for the artist, and even then it's just like, hey, like we're not even focusing on the quality, we're focusing on the essence.
Right.
So that was that. And then I started listening to like Jimi Hendrix and Bob Marley, and then I started listening to and then by now I realized when I go back to hip hop, there's something missing. I actually connect with singing.
Yeah.
Then I start trying to like sing and develop my songs like that, and then I'm like, all right, well, like I can't just be like downloading beats online. Like I need to make my own.
Yeah.
So I started trying to do that, and then I come across another challenge, which is like, I don't know how to produce. I don't know how to play the piano. I don't know how to play the guitar. So I have to learn all that, and so on and so on until like where I am at the point where I am now, where I feel more confident with my craft. But I am aware that there's always going to be a lot of room for growth, because there's points where I felt when I was like learning how to play piano, I was like, no, I got it now. There's nothing that I need to learn more.
Yeah.
And the next year I felt the same. And the next year I felt the same. And then I had to realize that every year I felt like there was nothing more I could learn, which meant I was wrong, because that's what I felt every year. So that means that there is something to learn every year. So I changed my whole mindset. So now I don't limit myself to where I feel like, oh, I got it now. Even if I feel confident, it's more like I can't wait to see what I learn next year.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great way of looking at your musical growth, because a lot of kids don't go in with that. And we talk about this a lot on our show, because we look at the landscape of what's out there, and then we start to measure the differences out there. And there's not a lot of difference, because a lot of kids don't take that approach towards it, to do that research, to have
Learn.
many different artists, and to go back to your thing that you're doing and have that structure to create something different off of
Develop.
those influence, and just still have your perspective that are on there that is not influenced by anything out there, which is kind of the hardest thing to do, but it's very rewarding when you do something like that. And every artist that you name, which was the first 5 was Interscope artists.
Exactly. They sure were.
Like 50 Cent, Eminem, Game. It's like, okay, that's Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre's creation.
Yeah.
But it's
Do
a
you have
great thing.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you have any mentors to thank for everything that you just explained now, your perspective? Do you have any mentors that you would say helped with that, or is it?
I mean, like I said, it's a similar response to what are my musical influences and like what are my mentors, and it's everything. It's like I feel like I've learned everything from every genre of music, as far as sonically, structure, creativity, and every artist. I try to, even though I don't know them, a lot of them have already passed away, or a lot of them I had never met, so stuff. But I try to imagine like who is the person creating that, and I, in a way that they're like a mentor, like the music they're creating. They're not, because I don't know their personality, but the music they're creating became a mentor, and also the music they created became an influence. So it's like, but now it's like the people that I meet, the things I learn from them are mentoring me. They're adding to us stuff. And my dad was a huge mentor for me. The conversations we had and the time we got to spend together, like that was it's a mentorship time for me. So I think I think everything life. I believe in just like, you know, destiny, and that things happen for a reason. But within that destiny, we have our choices. So it's not like everything's pre-made for us and we're just gonna sit here and then next thing we wake up, it's like, well, I'll just fall asleep and everything's destined and I'll wake up rich. You know? So it's like destiny does bring you to the right places, but it's what you do in those places that creates like the result for that.
Another message.
I like that.
You're like 100 years old.
I'm about to say,
You're like
how old are you?
You're like a young grandfather. Just dropping jewels, man.
That's great.
Hey, look, I'm ready to hear some of this music. So what are you going to play for us?
All right, man. I don't know. What do you guys want to hear? I got a couple.
Sprite. I want to hear Sprite.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
start
all right,
Start
we'll
with
play-
that.
we'll
All right,
play
so
that.
let's
Start with that
let's
one,
spray.
something.
Let's go into the new
Oh.
ones.
Or
You can look Sprite up on the interior
Gotcha.
net.
Hey, we've
Like,
been
I'll do
talking
my
about it.
homework.
Give
Alright,
them
so we
something.
skipping Sprite. We're
Yeah.
going to new.
Give them a little
Yeah.
bit.
Go to something
Nervous.
new. Trip Digital Radio Sound Art Expression. Wow. What was the name of that song?
Song is called "Nervous." It's still getting developed. I might change some lyrics, might change some notes, probably re-record a couple things. So still in the works, but it's
The 808 was
Solid.
tickling my ears.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was nice, baby.
What you
Yeah,
think,
I
Mia?
I like
Like it.
I like that.
I was trying to look it up to see what it reminded me of, a song that I really like that's out right now. I'm sorry to do comparisons. I know that offends.
Mia's a sound
Artist.
engineer.
Yeah,
she
she's
has
a
to
sound
do that. She's technical.
So yeah, I was trying to look it up because it reminds me a lot of that song. It's not that it's a carbon copy, but I like the vibe a lot. So
Yeah, definitely.
really current, vibey. So
Yeah.
simple too.
I got a
Simple.
question on that. You know, even with the Sprite song and with this one, who are you talking to?
Sprite.
All love, man. It's all this love going on. Who are you talking to?
I mean,
You got a girlfriend?
Huh?
No.
You about to put this
All right,
man
ladies,
on
he's
blast?
single out here,
No,
baby.
I'm single. No, man, it's just I get inspiration from like situations and moments like that. But
So you speaking about your past, or
it's a little bit of everything. I think what inspires me the most is it's everything. It's past, present, and future. I think past has the nostalgia value, it has the lessons, it has the memories. The present is what you're living in, what you're learning, your current mood, and the future are your visions, your hopes, your dreams. So it's like a little bit of everything. It's like, so whenever I'm writing a song, I just kind of start it, and then if I get a little like stuck, I try to find out like what's going on here. Like, what am I writing about? Is it something past? Is it something I'm going through in the present, or is it actually a vision of the future? I think about a lot of my songs. I feel like it's kind of weird. Like, I'll write them like a year, 2, 3, 4 before, and then 4 years later, I'll be like, I feel like I'm going through that, and it's like almost like I'm like, am I predicting this, or am I writing my own like fate? Like, I don't know.
Like
Whoa.
the Twilight Zone.
That's
Yeah,
scary.
yeah.
you got a powerful pen
future.
over here, man. Powerful
Yeah, man.
pen.
So if you guys want to win the lotto or something cool, just
Yeah, I was
like,
like,
let me know.
that was my
I'll put
next
it.
question.
There you
I'll
go.
put it in the song like, about to win the lotto, and then just give me the date when you want to win it.
are 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10.
No, I can't. Like, I can't do that because then everyone else is gonna win it. So
Yeah.
I just gotta
Yeah.
call your name and be like, yo, trust that you're gonna win the lotto.
I'll just
Hey,
bet
I'm
on
gonna
some
call you on that.
basketball games.
18.
You heard it here first, man. I'm gonna call you.
Yeah, so just let me know. Call me, and I got your futures. I'll just write it in.
There we go.
What
Alright.
program did you use for that one?
The program I started using and I'm still super comfortable and I can't like let go of. It's a FL Studio.
Oh, I was gonna say Ableton. Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
proves me wrong.
Yeah. I just I started messing with that and like I don't know. I thought I was like, oh, I'll start learn with this and then I'll switch into like Pro Tools or something else.
Yeah.
But no, man, I just got so it just became like my right hand. Like it just I can't like that's like my thing. Like FL Studio, it's just what I feel most comfortable. Like I do like my mixes and all that in there and I like on one of my favorite things about FL Studio is actually the equalizer, the visual one. Because you can actually see like the frequencies when they're hitting, so you can actually get an idea of where it is, and it helps you visually like train your ear. So now I can know what frequency around. Like I listen to it, I'm like, oh, I know where it is because the way I trained it was by seeing it. So like,
The first time I heard about FL Studio and I saw it, I'm like, suspect. And then Timbaland started to talk about it. Like Timbaland uses FL Studio a lot. And then
know
a
that.
couple of my buddies that work with Rihanna, I'm like, okay, this is official.
My favorite producer uses FL Studio. Somebody I know personally, I work with a lot, and his drums are always just 9 times out of 10. His drums are on point. They're in your face. I just love. I don't know what it does to drums, but
I think because it gives you a lot of freedom. Like what I do now is I mean, for those that are familiar with FL Studio, the producers and stuff, I run a lot of things through a plugin they have called Edison. So you can actually like record, like if like say you're trying to like mix drums and stuff, like you can like record the sample there and then just keep overworking it.
Yeah.
And then it's cool because it gives you this feel like of what it was to make music back then. Because once you record that sample, it's there. Like you can't re-separate it. So it's like there's a commitment. Like there's always gonna be the little bit you can start over. You have like benefits that back then people didn't have. But I think it's like one of the closest ways we have to that experience. Because once you record and you commit to that, you can change the EQ and stuff, but like if you added something else, you can't separate that sound anymore. Like it's in there.
Yeah.
So it's gonna.
I like that recording process.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's honest.
the whole digital thing. It's like, oh, I got like endless tracks.
We'll fix it in
Back
post.
in the days, you had one reel.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, get your song done and just run one reel, and you had to practice over and over again. It's like, okay, let me go and record now, and then you had that. That's just that one take.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and that's another aspect that I mean, for me, I started making music electronically, and that was what I started developing in. But now the new music that I'm working in, and with the people that I'm working in, and they're mentoring me, and I'm taking in their ideas and their input and all that. And one of the main things is like they still like and believe in like we're like part of when music was still like they still incorporated a lot of like organic elements, which they still have it now, but it's not the same. It's like now it's more electronic, and if there's something missing, it's like why are we gonna go spend the money and bringing in a guitar player that's really good when we could just do a plugin?
Sample,
So it's like it's gonna sound similar, but it's never gonna be the same.
Yeah.
So it's like I think that's something where like I don't know, artists might want to take into consideration, because I never took into consideration until I started this recording process. That acoustic stuff and organic stuff that's live played, it's a lot different. You can get similar sounds with digital, but it's not the same. Like you're not gonna get the room room sound, the room acoustics, even if they're very light. Little things, the essence of whoever's playing it and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's so true, and it goes back to the Defiant Ones that we're watching on HBO right now.
Mm-hmm.
What separated Dr. Dre's sound from everyone else? He was using live instruments.
Yeah.
You know, he was using bass, live guitars, and stuff like that over samples.
Yeah, and
which is the coolest thing.
And even then, I think he was like probably like treating them. I mean, I imagine that he was treating them once they were done like samples.
Yeah.
But they were like his samples, original, longer samples and stuff like that. I think someone who does that. I'm pretty sure there's still musicians that do it. I think I seen. I think J. Cole does that too. I mean, I seen something when they were making one of the like albums. He like would bring in musicians and they just play riffs and stuff like that, and then he samples them. Yeah. So it's still treating them like samples, but at least he's like bringing in live musicians to do it, and they're his samples. They're more custom made and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
I feel like the new 2 Chainz song is like that. It's a vibe. It sounds so full and organic, and that guitar and the bass just like are in the pocket. So.
That's dope. Is that a single? That should be a single.
That's a single.
It's a cool vibe. I definitely want to develop it more. I like it.
It's
it
a single.
Do you have a release date for that?
No, not yet.
Okay. So for all your songs, are you doing Spanish versions? Like for the 2 that you just played, are you?
No, I actually like to treat each version individually. I don't like too much to translate. Yeah. I just feel like things get lost in translation a lot of the times. So I rather just make something new with that same concept, different beat, different melodies, same concept, and structure, build the structure in English if it wasn't Spanish originally, and vice versa. So So I like to just treat each song like individual. Like another thing that I don't really like to do is like remixes and stuff like that. I'd rather just make something new. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I'm still it's things that I'm still open to. Like if I'm really get swayed to it, like I might just translate one or do a remix to something. So I'm open to it. But as a creative, I like to just always create new.
Do you feel like the fans, your Latin fans, will want to hear stuff like this? I mean, would they or being lost in translation? I mean. Do you feel like, if your Latin fans heard this, would they be mad at you for putting out something totally different? Do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to cover both lanes. Like I have things like this, like in Spanish, that I'm working on that are for the album that they sit like along this lane. They sit around this lane. So it's like the English crowd will get this one and they'll be happy and enjoy it. But then the Spanish side will get something different that they're like, we're not complaining because we're happy too. We're enjoying this one. So, and me in the middle, I have to make sure that I'm creating for both sides. If I'm gonna be giving music to both sides, keep everyone happy. instead of, because another thing too that could be dangerous is if I in English I do a song that's really cool, or in Spanish I do a song that's really cool, and I try to translate it, and then the other version isn't as cool.
Right.
So on the left side they're enjoying it because they connect with it, and
Yeah.
on the right side they're like, it was okay, because the lyrics didn't like really connect, and part of it, like huge part of it, was like in the lyrics.
Right.
Like even if the melodies are still there.
You got a hard job, man, because I mean you're creating for two markets,
Mhm.
which you know artists don't do that. You know,
Yeah.
like a lot of artists don't do that. They just go to a different country, they speak a different language, and like Snoop Dogg went over to Korea and they're singing gin and juice, and then he's like, oh shit, they're they're singing my song. They must speak English. And then after the concert, no one spoke English. So yeah, but you got
It's hard enough for one market.
Yeah.
Just to appease one market.
Yeah.
You should do. I mean, it's up to you, but I think that song would sound really dope in Spanish too.
I think so.
Yeah. It seems like the words, it wouldn't be. I mean, my Spanish is rough, but it doesn't seem like it would be that difficult to, like, it wouldn't get lost. But
Yeah.
So because Mia wanted to hear the Sprite song, we're gonna play the Sprite song,
Right.
then come back
Please.
and we'll close out.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. So here's song Sprite. This one's a little more finished though, so I hope you guys.
And you
like this.
it was recorded in 2012.
Yeah,
you say?
like. Yeah, it was. Yeah, this was like never an official release. This was something that I recorded, like I said, in like 2012.
Yeah.
And it was just, I made it in my room and it was cool. Like, so I kind of like mix it and like it was just something that I had, and like it was never an official release. It was just something that it was the creative process, and I always just felt that need to create. So I created this, and then like this later ended up like kind of like leaking out, and then some stories kind of they started writing it as like this is the official release,
Yeah.
when it was just something that like I created in like 2012 2013, and like along with like a bunch of other songs, and like but this was all a creative process.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that I'm doing now, this is the official, this is with the intention of release, this is with the intention of giving like the best, the highest quality product to
Right.
the fans, and going with like in mixing engineers and working with composers and arrangers, and like we're with strategy and
Yeah.
a full team. Like this is the real thing, and I've been preparing for this by making these songs. But this was just one song that I made, and it was cool. So here, hope you guys
Listen.
like it.
You satisfied?
yes, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was dope. That was dope for your first kind of record that you put together
Yeah.
entirely. Felt like Prince in his bedroom for
Right.
the first time, tinkering away. It's like a gem, a jewel.
Yeah, it was just like a creative concept that I had. Like I said, I just wanted to make like a really different approach at a love song, relating it to something, because it was like, like I said, I felt like love can sometimes be like an addiction for people and
Yeah.
stuff, because it's a feeling. It's like it's just something that it connects with your like brain, and like I don't know if it feels like sometimes it feels like a void or something. It's
Yeah.
and this makes this connection, and it's like drugs are dangerous. Love can be like dangerous too.
Yeah.
So it's like it was that concept, that approach, and I just went at it like in the concept. I never thought about like what is this gonna sound like how long is the song gonna be? Is it gonna be like marketable, or is it gonna be played on the radio? Is it like what kind of genre? It was just something that I started off with like the main melody, and then just like kind of added a bass to it, or I think I added the drums. Yeah, I added the drums at the end, and just kind of started picking up a vibe. And then I had a main melody to go on top of it, and it just kind of, next thing you know, the song was developing, and then I just kind of pieced it together, moved some things around, added some more instruments, created like a thing, and then like it was just like a creative piece, and that was it.
That's dope. That's dope. The love thing. My mentor used to say it's an emotional cocktail. You'll always get drunk. Don't drink and drive. But yeah, so we're going to close out now. Let's tell the fans and the listeners where they can find you on social media.
Okay. Yeah, well, my social media right now, I just have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm still seeing what I'm gonna branch out with like next. I think right now, what's next we're gonna add is with Musically.
Okay.
we're working some with. So that's next, and yeah, just kind of see where we're going. Like, yeah. So and Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of those are the same right now. They're at Luis. That's LUIS X Aguilera. That's spelled AGUILERA, and that is the same for Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Okay.
Okay. What's up next with you? Is the album? Are you have any venues that you're going to be playing at? People can come see you.
Right now we're in the recording process and mixing process and all that. We just got done with the writing and developing and all that pre-production process.
Yeah.
So now it's like the final stuff, final recordings, final mixings, and getting everything done, right? And then so we're looking at the next thing is the album release. Stack as many songs, well, not stack, but develop carefully. That's why it's taken us all this time since January till now, because I'm writing all of them and I'm working with someone that's helping me arrange the songs and everything. To build a 10 to 15 song album, to have a library that I can actually like play and perform at concerts when the fans come. And to watch me play. So the next thing would be the album.
Good.
What do you see yourself in a couple years? Not you, manager. But
no, I mean,
what do you see yourself in the next couple years?
Where do I see myself in the next couple of years? That's a hard question, because I mean, I do have a concept and a vision, but I think life is so unpredictable that can be dangerous too. Creating a solid concept and a solid vision. On one side, it gives you a goal. And I do believe that your thoughts become your life in the future. So I really believe in that. Yeah. But another thing is like you do have to always have this kind of like safe option, where if something doesn't go according to plan, like don't like panic and stuff like that. So I don't want to fully be like, well, Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday I'm going to be doing this, and this is how it's going to be by this month and this year. So I mean, I'm in a few years I expect mainly to be still creating, be happy, but still be have drive of going, because sometimes if you're in a very comfortable place, you're very happy, you're very relaxed and stuff like that, that can, as a creative, it can kind of kill your creativity or start to affect it, because you're very comfortable. So there's nothing within you like pushing you. Sometimes like the struggle and that uncertainty, feeling of uncertainty, is what produces a lot of the creative ideas, because you just need an outlet to express what you're feeling, and you just feel like it's something inside that you have to get out. And so I mean, I would say even to all people, even if you don't make music, you don't paint, you don't do anything less like artistic wise, or you don't consider yourself like, oh, I'm an artist, but you just you enjoy art, but yeah, man, if you're just a regular human being, so that's all of us. I think an advice I would say, if you're going through some like a tough time, or you're going through some sort of emotional like this conflict, just write it out. Just write things. Just write how you feel. Don't think about making it rhyme. Don't think about making this will be a hot song. Don't think about any of that, or this is gonna be a great book. Just write it. Just be like, I feel like this, or I don't know. Just it's weird. There's something about writing things out that it helps. It's not an automatic solution for it, but it's like it helps.
It's therapeutic.
It's therapeutic. Yeah,
definitely.
Okay, so we have this question on our show, Trip Digital Radio, that we ask all our guests.
Yes, we do.
And that question is, you want to say it, Tiz?
All right.
I'll say it.
Okay.
What is your superpower?
My superpower, like what I would want it to be my superpower, or what is?
What is? It's like you look in the mirror, you're like the only person on this earth that can do this. Or you're probably amongst a few that can do this one thing. What is that? We call it a superpower. What is it for you?
I think my superpower, if that's what it can be called, is it's just the creativity and the vision for things, like that instinct to kind of know what to create. I think honestly it's just I guess it caught me on the spot. I guess so, but I guess if I would
It's
have to
always
be
on the
like
spot.
something
There's no
that's,
wrong answer here.
that's unique or something, I would say my creativity. I like to think that, it's something that's special and that I like. I don't know. Everyone's creative, but I'm very proud of my creativity, and I'm very happy with where I don't know where it takes me and the things that come out of my brain, and I don't know. It's something that I really like about myself. So I think, I guess that would be my superpower. I mean, I would love that the answer was like, oh man, I can run 500 miles an hour, or like I can fly. If I confess something, I can fly. No, like so that would be a super cool superpower.
Yeah.
But I guess creativity.
Creativity.
The
On that
creative.
note, Trip Digital Radio Sound Art Expression, we're out. Follow this man. I got a text earlier, said he's the next thing.
Oh, man.
Right.
Believe that.
Louis
Trip Digital Radio, Sound
Aguilera.
Art Expression. Peace.
Peace.
Good stuff.
What's up, world? It's your man, DJ Journey. I want to say thanks for watching this video. But first, you got to like this video. And then after liking it, you got to subscribe, because we want to keep this coming to you. We get more interesting, so keep it coming.